I'm gonna have to send in a signal for that real quick before I get booted. Send in a ticket for that real quick before I get booted again. Um, Go watch my TikTok. I'm gonna talk about this real quick, do a quick review, and I'm gonna do a bigger review later in the week where we're going to include, hopefully include Suburban Bourbon Dad, get his thoughts on this. But before I get kicked out again, we're gonna see. We're gonna see how long it takes. I'm gonna post this. It's 9:59 right now for me, but yeah, I don't know what's going on. Usually I can have my 4 people in and, say, appreciate you, bro. Appreciate the help. I just got to send in a signal. I got to send in a ticket or something like that, asking them what's going on. I don't know if someone reported me for, I don't know what. I do get in some shenanigans on here, so maybe I violated one of the laws. I don't know. I'm sorry, IG. I'm sorry. But we're going to get it figured out. But yeah, doing this, I got to start getting on this painting real quick. I don't know if you guys did not see this earlier. This is the newest in custom trays that I'm coming out with. I'm probably gonna come out with about 20 trays this summer. I'm sorry, not this summer, but this fall to winter. And I'm gonna come out with a custom painting for each one of them. Yeah, definitely. Say it's a good brother. Definitely go follow him. Go follow him as well. Good brother, good follow. He will give you the notification, and you guys go from there. But this is the first one. I'm about to do a custom painting for this as well. If you guys are wondering what it says Heavenly, and then it has my initials right there. That way you know it's made by me. And on this side it says Smoke, and it says TLA over here. That way you know it's a part of the TLA series. I do have other ones that I've created that are a part of other series, but this one is just going to be a one-of-one, no remaking it. Colors may be the only ones that are used, the same colors, but now they're going to be the same. Cigar is going to be, the cigar tray is going to be cut differently. It's going to be different sizes of trays. Going to have different metals and stuff like that on there as well. So if you guys are interested in it, I'm gonna be honest with you, it's not gonna be a cheap price, but it's gonna be a one-of-one, my custom artwork. You can DM me if you're interested to get the price. I am talking to someone about this one. All I have to do is finish the painting and send in the painting. So if you wanna get in as a backup for that one right there. And what's going on? And for the painting, definitely, DM me. If not, then you can get in line for the next series is gonna come out. I am gonna be making one that's just straight black and gold, it's straight TLA. I'm gonna have, it's gonna be a nice scorch on there. A nice little engravement to it. I may do one that I actually branded. So we'll see, But before I get started, I'm gonna be, like I said, I'm drinking this Bardstown Bourbon. It's the Ferrand edition. This is the one that they did with Mason Ferrand for his, his cognac. It's a blend of 7-year and 11-year-old Kentucky bourbon, aged in Ferrand cognac cask for 8 months. So it's their collaborative series. If you know anything about Bardstown, they did just release 2 different series. They released the Discover series, and that is absolutely beautiful. Suburban Bourbon Dad may come on here and we may do a review of the Discover series, give my notes on that, and the Ferrand series, if I can get this IG guest thing figured out. But yeah, man, it's absolutely beautiful pour. For the loss, I was on here for maybe a half an hour before or something like that. Thanks, man. I got to try to stay busy, but not only that, but it's just, doing what I'm passionate about. If you guys have seen my bars before, I built my own bars. I've done the custom painting and everything for that. As Say said, what his notes are: chocolate covered cherries and nuttiness in the sip he's having. I definitely get a deep dark chocolate. I get a sweetness from like a great cognac. You have a nice cherry nose on here. It's not as much heat as as a normal high proof bourbon like this George T. Stagg Jr. This Stagg Jr. is 134, and I'm not gonna open that right now. Probably not gonna open that for a while, especially since George T. Stagg is not coming out with an antique collection this year. And Craig that just came on there. He's from the Benny's that I work with and that I shop at. I actually got this. I got both bottles from Benny's today. So I mean, it's definitely a beautiful pour. I think I got the last one of the Ferrand. I believe they have the Discover Series 6 still up there in their cabinet. It's $130 a bottle. Go to Benny's in Orland Park if you still do not have a Bardstown Discover Series 6 or anything Bardstown of their annual releases. You have to go to Benny's and pick it up. This Stagg Jr., well, like I said, the George T. Stagg is not coming out. They're saying that it's probably not coming out because of the Stagg Jr. And they also said that they're going to take the sauce, they're going to take the bourbon that was going to be George T. Stagg for this year, and they're probably just going to rebrand it into a different bourbon because it doesn't meet the Stagg qualifications. It doesn't meet the qualification to be called be a part of the George T. Stagg antique collection. So, I'm sure that'll be, you may find that out in maybe a month or so. But you definitely go to your local store, see if you can get one of these Stagg Juniors, because they have two different barrels of those. I have one barrel, Jason has the other barrel. I'm not gonna crack mine open for a while, so I took a screenshot. So I looked for it here in Canada. Definitely, hopefully it came out last week, so hopefully your store hasn't sold out, or hopefully they just haven't gotten it, so you can still get yours, and you have a great pour of some kind of Stagg, bourbon for this year. But that secondary market for it is going to be absolutely crazy. I think right now they're asking the ask is like $450 to $500 for George T. Stagg Jr. Well, for a Stagg Jr. right now in the secondary market. This one's going to stay on my shelf. Say said, as Bardstown reached 5 years, they're using more and more of their own aged juice. Yeah, they're starting to, so they're saying that there may only be maybe another 2 years of Bardstown bourbon that's still sourced out of MGP, I believe is what it's called, the huge bourbon maker over in secondary market is absolutely insane. But it's maybe a couple more years of the sausage sourced out of MGP or something like that, and then they're going to be all Bardstown sauce. And we maybe, I have to hit them up. They told me, they gave me an email to hit up and say, hey, what would we need for us to do a live? So I may be doing a live of Bardstown bourbon at some point in the future, along with having Suburban Bourbon Dad on there as well. I thought Bardstown has already said it's MGP. Well, I mean, it's a well-known fact that it's MGP sauce. I mean, it's still delicious, and they, I don't know if they will admit it or not. Well, I mean, I know you've done your research, so I trust what you say is correct. But everyone in the industry knows it's MGP sauce. Uh, what's in my glass? I'm drinking G4 108 Blanco. Nice. I actually have bourbon in my glass right now. It is bourbon hunting season right now. A lot of the antique collection, a lot of annual releases are coming out right now. So, and this is my time, my favorite time of the year for bourbon, because it's starting to get colder here. And bourbon just toasts you inside a little bit different, you know. It toasts you inside a little bit different. George T. Stagg, ISO Lamborghini. But I'm pouring up the Bardstown Bourbon Ferrand. This is their collaboration with Mason Ferrand to age their bourbon in his cognac barrels. So it's absolutely delicious. It is definitely on my top shelf now as a home here. We were just talking about the secondary market on there. Like, I have a Pappy 12 here. And for this Pappy 12, yeah, it's definitely delicious. But this Pappy 12, I bought retail for $100. And you can see I've tapped into this. This is not being sold or anything like that. I bought this for $100. On the secondary market, this would go for at least $500, at least. There are some people that are actually trying to ask for like $1,000, you know, and it's like, dude, like I'm straight. This Jack 10, and this one thing I would love for Tequila to get to is to have where they have like their annual releases. I know Anger Management just joined, so this is an idea for you guys. I got a Corazon aged in ORVW. Yeah, old Rip Van Winkle barrels. Yeah, definitely. Strong like bull. Yes, sir. But the Corazon is one of the few brands that actually does this, where they come out with like a limited release, like an annual release. Speaking of Corazon, I have the Corazon that is aged in the Thomas Henry Sazerac barrels. That's finished in Thomas Henry Sazerac barrels. And I love these. You know, I won't buy this. I won't buy that bottle on a normal basis, but when they do these annual releases, I have to have at least one of them on there. But also talking about the secondary market, like this Jack Daniel's 10-year, like in the store, this is like $80-$90. But if you want to buy it on the secondary market, you're paying $180 to $250 for the bottle. So like that's one thing. Like if tequila as tequila is starting to get bigger, and as the agave short starts to become more legit, like that's one thing that you're gonna start to see, like these tequila bottles trade, like building a secondary market to where now the bourbon has. One thing that I love about, I would hope for more tequila brands to do is like doing like what El Mayor does. El Mayor, I got corrected about this this week. El Mayor, or what Tequila Ocho does, like where they have like I have a lot of bottles next to me. It just seems like I'm just grabbing them out of air. I have a lot of bottles that are right here next to me. Where they have like their annual release, like annual limited releases. That's one thing that I would love for more tequila brands to do. And, have it as the market of like, okay, I only release this to this many stores, and it has to be like this level of buyer for this exact tequila, or else you can't have that. Our barrel pick's pretty common on the tequila side of things. Not necessarily. I have maybe one. I had two. Out of all the tequila I've had, I maybe had. I I wouldn't say that though. Say I wouldn't, necessarily. I wouldn't say that because you're gonna find stores that have a lot of barrel picks for tequila, but you always and when I'm looking at it from when I say this, it's not saying that there's not a lot. What I'm saying is, compared to bourbon barrel picks, like the bourbon stores that are around me, I can go in and find yeah. So the Corazon, that's their annual release. Their annual release, they come out with barrel picks, limited edition barrel aged picks of the the antique collection of old Rip Van Winkle / Pappy Van Winkle, because their tequila is a Buffalo Trace product. So if there's a Buffalo Trace product, they're just aging them in the Buffalo Trace barrels. But yeah, if I'm looking at it compared to bourbon, I mean, you have for bourbon, every decent liquor store has their own bourbon barrel, their bourbon pick, or bourbon store pick. I can go into, Benny's, or I can go to Kenwood Liquor, or I can even go to Marino's, and I can find at least two or three store picks, 2 or 3 store barrel picks of bourbon a week. For tequila store picks, I can go into Marino's and they'll have maybe 1 or 2. But if I go to all the other stores around me, they may only have 1 out of the other 5 or 6 stores that I may go to. So it's, when you're comparing it to bourbon barrel picks, store picks, it's a lot less. And as you know, those bourbon store picks, it has to rely on the person's palate that's picking it. Like I said, if you're in the Chicago area and you love bourbon picks, you love store picks, Benny's and Kenwood Liquor are 2 of the best picks I've ever had. TJ at Kenwood Liquor, this dude knows how to pick his bourbon. I'm starting to do his tequila picks because he wants to start to do a lot more tequila store picks, and I'm starting to do those for him. But we've only found like one brand that would do a store pick for him. So we're going to be coming out. It's supposed to be coming out here in October, but that brand had some issues, so it may be pushed back to November or December. Let me catch up on some comments here. A Shot said mostly Old Town, just because they're so big and they move so much product. So yeah, so if you're near Old Town, definitely go in there and look for their tequila, their store picks for that. So Bourbon Mercedes, gotcha. I was curious about tequila barrel picks. Probably not as easy as bourbon. It's not that it's not as easy. It's that tequila brands they're just now really starting to get into the game, the height of the tequila game, height of the liquor game that bourbon is in. If you look back in like the early 2000s, like bourbon was readily available. I mean, you could literally go and get this bottle at Jewel Osco at any time you want it back in like the early 2000s. And it wasn't really until the whole bourbon game caught on and Buffalo Trace really exploded. For now, you have to be like one of the top, you have to be one of the top customers or a customer they really want to please in order for you to even get a chance of getting Pappy Van Winkle at retail price. Let's see, Barbara, I'll be ready to try those tequila picks. I know nothing. No, definitely go and try the tequila picks, man. It's definitely going to depend on who is doing the picking, because one thing I've learned is if a bourbon guy is doing the tequila picks, they're either going to pick something that's like just a sweeter blend, that's kind of like a gimmicky blend, or they're gonna pick something that's like like a really spicy tequila because they're so used to picking bourbon, and they say, okay, this is not as hot as this bourbon that I love to pick. So I'm gonna go ahead, I'm gonna pick up, I'm gonna pick this barrel as opposed to someone that drinks tequila all the time, like myself, where I'm like, okay, I know what a high quality tequila tastes like and what I would want as a store pick for tequila that, actual tequila drinkers are gonna come in here and be like, man, this is absolutely fantastic. This is a well-balanced, just delicious tequila. I get, I get a nice pepper, agave, vanilla. I get the finer notes of the cinnamons, the earthiness, the spring water, whatever whatever type of water they're using. You get the fresh agave. Like, you have someone like myself that drinks a lot of tequila coming in to make that store pick, then you're gonna have a lot of people that love tequila that are gonna come in and keep buying that. So that's, if there's one thing that I look at and I'm like, okay, there's one thing I can, I know how Benny's store picks are gonna taste. They're, from what I've noticed, they're picked by traditional bourbon guys, I should say, and it's always gonna have a nice spice to it. It's not gonna be something that's gonna be like just an agave bomb, or something that's gonna be like like a nice vanilla or nice caramel or any other prominent notes to it. So it's just, is anything else, you gotta find out who's really tasting it and see if you blend with that person's store picks. But yeah, so I'm happy to have this. Very happy to have this. Very happy to have this Bardstown bourbon in. The bourbon merce. I would do a 2-ounce sample trade on some of my favorite tequilas if you want to teach me bourbon. I'm trying to get more into bourbon. So there you go, merce. Definitely, hook up with A-Shot. You guys can start to trade back bourbon and tequila. I know he has some great tequilas that's going to send you out. Maybe you have some stuff that I don't have in my bar. But speaking of speaking of a tequila pick, I believe this is the only tequila pick, this only store pick of tequila that I have in my bar, this Código 1530 Rosa. This is the only store pick that I have on my bar of tequila, as opposed to I'll show them because they're right here. Just on this bar alone, I have this Driftless Glen store pick. Definitely, bro. Make up a package. I'll send you some. Rosa definitely is delicious. But I'm looking at the store picks that I have here on my bar. I have the Driftless Glen Kenwood store pick, Driftless Glen Rye. I have the Benny's Jack Daniels barrel proof store pick. Let me see what else I have. Obviously, I have the George T. Stagg. Stagg Jr. I need to get them in line here. I have that. I have a Sazerac. Let me see where that bottle is. Where is that? Yeah, I have a Sazerac Benny store pick that's on my bar. Yes, I have many bars. Yeah, I mean, if you came here, you said for under $100. Take a guess on how much I spent for that bottle right there, as I try to see if I have any other bourbon store picks close to me. All right. I don't have any more bourbon store picks close to me because I moved all my bourbon, most of my bourbon over there. Oh, yeah, I do have another store pick. I'm going to get up and get it. I have an old elk store pick over there, and um, I have this pin hook Benny store pick. A shot, I would definitely go live with you, but I tried to go live with Say earlier, and it kicked me off on his page and on my page. I tried to go live with Merce like last week, and it kicked me off like 3 times. So for the sake of us not messing up this flow and us not getting the boot, I'm gonna figure that out first before I go live again with have a joint live again, or else I would definitely say yes. All right, so you said at least 50. I feel you got a good price. Old Elk is out of Fort Collins, Colorado. It's about 64 here today. Old Elk does great things too. Yeah, so Sauce is right. So I paid $60. So I paid $60 for this today. And if you wanted to buy that on the secondary market, it would be like $450 to $500 on the secondary market. It's absolutely crazy. Absolutely crazy. So yeah. No, Sauce, I wasn't saying you. A Shot had asked to go live. And I would go live. I should be able to have 3 other people on here, and I would go live with just 4 of us. But I don't want to take the chance of getting kicked off again, because I'm also going to be getting off here soon, so I can start this painting. What up, Yayo? But yeah, Bourbon Merce. It's I was surprised that it was only $70, especially with the announcement of them not making a George T. Stagg this year for the antique collection. I figured they would have pushed it up to at least $100, which I still would have paid $100 for it, because it is a delicious pour. From what I've heard, this is actually my first Stagg Junior on my bar, so I'm gonna keep it on there for a while, before I open it up. Yeah, it has been. I got 3 samples of bourbon, and I don't know if it's good. 4 Roses single barrel strength, EA's Tail barrel proof, Weller antique. So yeah, you mentioned 3 of the best bourbons you're gonna be able to find. 4 Roses, always a delicious pour, always flavor bombs, but it's spicy as fuck. EA's Taylor is always amazing. And Weller Antique, I mean, you can't get much better than that, So what batch is that? I've never seen one in a while. I've tried batch 15, and it was awesome. Antique 107 is one of my favorites. Let me see what batch this is. You know what, man? I'm not used to finding this stuff on these bourbon bottles, I'll be honest with you. That may be a better question for Jason. So DM Suburban Bourbon Dad, he'll be able to tell you all that. Or you can tell me where I can find that on this bottle, because I'll be honest with you, I'm used to locating noms quickly, but I'm not sure about bourbon bottles. I don't drink enough bourbon to really know exactly where to find that or to do the research for that. So sorry about that, man. Since I believe 15 is the newest, I'm not sure if it even says it on the bottle. I know that for this release for George T. Stagg, or for Stagg Junior, I don't know. I know that for Stagg Junior this year, they did 2 different barrels for the barrel picks. I have one. Jason has a bottle of the other one. Neither one, I know I'm not gonna crack mine open for a while. Probably not until like New Year's Eve or something like that. But you know, I like to have a stag on my bar. I have a Weller on here. I have a obviously Pappy Van Winkle. Um, Obviously, I have a ton of Jack on here as well, a ton of tequila. So I'm looking to, one thing that I want to get as well as another Pappy this year is if I can find a Sazerac antique collection because I'm a huge Sazerac fan, then that'd be great. Aisha says I want to buy more bourbon, but I'm not trying to buy the Patron or bourbons. Yeah, I want the rye, souls, and Cabo Unos. Yeah, I want rye souls and Cabo Unos. Definitely. If you for the best, if you really want to know like what like the high end, like the great bourbons on here, one, I don't post about bourbon unless it's something that's high quality or it's like a store pick. Because that's all I want of bourbons. I'm not gonna just buy like everyday bourbons. It has to be an annual pick or like a store pick that I know that people are talking about and it's delicious. Two, go follow Bourbon Merce. He posts some great bottles. Three, go follow Bourbon Dad. He posts just straight up high end bottles and unique bottles that he's the one that I get my bourbon knowledge from and I drink bourbon with on a weekly basis. So I trust his bourbon picks. So follow those two pages, and of course just look at what bourbon I post about, and you're not getting a Patron. I don't post anything crap on my page. I have a reputation to uphold. So Bourbon Mercies, I've never seen any BTAC in the wild, let alone try them. I've tried of the Buffalo Trace Antique Collection. I've tried the George T. Stagg. We actually killed that bottle this past Sunday because there's not another one coming out. So we killed last year's bottle of that. So we killed that. I don't think I've had, well, of course, besides for the Pappy Van Winkle, I had the Pappy 10, I had the Pappy 12, and I believe I had the Pappy 15 before. But those are the only things I've had out of the antique collection as well. The other ones are just, they're that hard to find. You can find phenomenal bourbons for under $25 also, definitely. Yes, we do have standards. I want the Eagle Rare 17. Me too, man. I wish I could get the whole collection at retail price. If I get the whole collection at retail price this year, I'd drop, I don't even know how much they are. They're usually coming in around $100, $150. Even if they're $200, I'd drop, $200 each for each one of them. Never open them unless it's like an absolutely like special occasion. And they would just sit there and be like, I have a whole collection of the Pappy, Pappy 12 or Pappy 15. I know I'm nowhere near getting a Pappy 20 or 23 right now. But I have the Pappy 12. Hopefully I'll get a Pappy Rye this year. If not Pappy Rye, Pappy 15. And then if I had the George T. Stagg, the Sazerac, the Thomas Handy, the Eagle Rare, bro, I'm done buying bourbon from there. There's no better of that, People out there paying their mortgage for a bottle now. They are. I heard of one dude paying $2,500 for a bottle of Pappy 20 year, and he was paying $3,800 for a bottle of Pappy 23 year. A shot, definitely. Cheers, bro. But yeah, it gets crazy. It's getting crazy out there for the bourbon. I'm hoping that it would be nice to see Tequila come up to that game as well, where it's like they have their annual releases like El Tesoro, Cordigo, Código 1530, Fortaleza. They have their winter blend. Cheers, gotta stop drinking. Hey, luckily this is only my first drink, and I gotta, and I'm gonna be down here for at least another hour. So, maybe I'll catch up with you, but tomorrow be heavier drinking throughout the weekend. So we'll see, for me at least. But yeah, that'd be great to see Tequila catch up to that, and have a good, have some great pours that would, definitely catch up to this bourbon game, but yeah, I don't want to be up till 1 a.m. Doing this painting. So I'm happy I was able to actually end this without being cut off. But yeah, look for Jason and I to go live. We're giving our notes for the Discovery Series 6 and this Bardstown Ferrand. If not tomorrow, then we definitely will be talking about it on Fireside Chronicles on Friday. And then I'll check out my stories. I'm pointing up there because if you're rewatching this, the story's gonna be up there. But watch those, you'll be able to see the process that I'm doing with this painting I'm gonna be doing tonight and how far I get tonight. And then if I do any other touch-ups to this tray. So yeah, man, you guys have a good night. This bourbon, absolutely delicious. Go look at Say's. If you guys have not, you guys can scroll back up. I'll give you a minute or so. It's Say Konya. Sorry if I'm butchering that, but it is SEYKOUNIA. Once again, it's SEYKOUNIA. He does a fantastic write-up on this Bardstown Ferrand collaboration. He does an absolutely fantastic write-up on that. Definitely go check that out, and go and follow him as well. And if you guys are looking for bourbon recommendations, definitely go follow Bourbon Dad. Go follow the Bourbon Merce, and you get even more bourbon knowledge and even more great recommendations to pick up as well. But yeah, it's time to go paint. Love you guys. Talk to y'all later. Bye.